G'day guys, E53 here, and today it's actually Saturday, and the reason that I'm got the video camera running today is the fact that tomorrow we're going to be stepping out of the simulator and into the real race car. So I thought it was a good opportunity to make another video and give you all a look at basically what I do for a bit of fun. So this is the car anyway. It's the car I'm going to be using. It's a Series 3 RX-7, which is 1984. It's the last model that they actually made of this particular shape before they moved on to the shape from the mid-80s in the Series 4 and Series 5. So I've had this car for around about 4 or 5 years now, and served me reasonably well. So it's not, despite the way it looks, there's not too much that's really out of the ordinary with it. It's certainly putting out stock power at the moment, really. As far as the turbo and everything goes like that, still running standard boost and those kind of things. So it's not going to set the world on fire as far as power goes. But as you might be able to see on the interior, it's completely stripped out on the inside. It is running semi-slick racing tyres as well, and does have some upgrades on the brakes and suspension. It's got adjustable coilovers on the front and everything like that. So that's the car we're going to be using tomorrow in the Willunga Hillclimb. It's only around about 10 minutes up the road from me, so actually quite convenient, but certainly a very good piece of road indeed. So just wanted to give you a bit of an overview of the car before I take it out tomorrow, because I am going to be obviously filming a little bit of it tomorrow and then putting it together into a video for you all to see. So I might just actually bring the camera around, just have a little bit of a look in the engine bay. And the reason I want to do that is I want to just give a little bit of insight into, I guess, what we've got going on under the bonnet here. As I mentioned, it is still running pretty much standard boost, although there is a lot under here that's actually not standard. And most of this work, in fact, just about everything that you can see here is actually done by, and I'll give you a bit of a close-up of the logo there on the windscreen, Chook Mechanical up in Paraka. They did pretty much all the work that you see here on this car, and there's actually an interesting story behind it, because end of last year, I was looking at going up to do the Legend of the Lakes hill climb in Mount Gambier. And I took the car in there to have a little bit of work done, and we actually found out that there was an issue with the engine. It had blown one of the apex seals out, which are fairly common. If anyone knows anything about rotaries, that happens quite a lot. So anyway, Simon, who runs the place over there, has actually, as time was a factor, time was a real problem for us, so we actually managed to, he gave us an engine, swapped over his good engine out of one of his project cars for one of my for my broken engine, and transferred everything over to it. Everything that you see there in terms of the injection and everything like that, because it was actually a carby engine that he had. I believe it was in an RX-3 or something like that he was doing up. So had to swap everything over that you see there, and just have a look at some of the detailing that he's done there on the engine, all about presentation and so on. I think it looks absolutely fantastic under there. Never have an issue with the scrutineers, just because it looks so good. Everything looks so clean and well cared for, everything else. So I mean, he also did a little bit with the turbo. Realistically, we did want to run a little bit more boost than what we're running at the moment. It's only running about 6 psi at the moment or something like that, but the fuel system isn't up to the job as far as we changed it over to E85 fuel, and it just can't get enough of it through to support any more boost than that. So that's what we're running. So as far as tomorrow goes, whoop, just kicked something over there, don't worry about that. Just as far as tomorrow goes, I don't really think that we're going to be setting the world on fire as far as any type of performances. When you see some of the other cars that are up there, you'll understand why. This is pretty much a mid-pack sort of car. Expect to finish around about sort of mid-order, but it should be a fairly tight battle in there. And the interesting thing about the Willunga Hillclimb as well is that the results are, as opposed to a normal hill climb, which is just done on your fastest run, this is actually scored cumulatively. So all your runs count towards a total at the end, and that's what you've got to work towards, because it's a total time at the end of the day. So I'll give you a bit of a look at some of the other cars that are around when I get there tomorrow. You'll get a good idea of some of the quality cars that are up there. But if you are interested in getting into this type of motorsport, there's also a you don't need a car even like this. You know, you don't need a supercar or anything like that. You can enter a road registered car if you like. This one, most of the cars up there are road registered sort of cars. This one is actually in the dedicated competition car class, mainly because it's got a gutted interior and modified suspension, and it's not road registered more than anything else. But some of the road registered cars will actually beat this tomorrow. If anyone's got a Skyline or WRX or anything like that with, you know, maybe some cranked up boost or something like that, it's probably going to beat us tomorrow. But there's a lot of stuff up there. There are guys that drive up there in road registered Datsuns, and you know, really anything. So long as you've got you know, decent tyres and a fire extinguisher in there, and your seatbelt's in good order, and a couple of other little things, and all your licensing is all fine, then you'll be able to compete with everyone else. So if anyone's sort of interested in a bit more information about sort of club level motorsport, please get in touch. Leave us a comment, drop us a line, anything like that, because I'm more than happy to talk anyone through it. But apart from that, we'll just finish off getting the car ready now, and I'll join you again tomorrow morning, or you'll join me again tomorrow morning on our way up there, and we'll see how the event goes. So hopefully we end up with a good finish. So until then. Alright guys, so we're here, we made it. We've been scrutineered, we've been done all the documentation, everything like that. So just taking the car up to the top of the hill now, where we have to be garaged, just given the fact that we are an unroad registered car, so it means we can't go on any of the public roads while the event's underway, so they actually garage us right up the top. Just thought I'd, I guess, take the opportunity to give you a little bit of a view of the course. Just slowly before we get into it. It's a great time of the day, this. It really is. Look at that. Fog rolling and everything like that. Morning fog. And you've just got a whole day of racing up ahead of you, which is awesome. It's actually one of my favourite times of the day, this early in the morning. So yeah, look, not really a whole lot else to say than that. The scrutineering area is still packed down there. They're doing it at the football oval. It's packed as it always is. I think there's record attendance this year as well, so it's definitely going to be busy. I think there's around about, I mean, I'm car 120 and there's more than me, so I think there's about 130, 140 cars here. So yeah, not really too much else to say than that, I suppose. This is Old Willunga Hill. You can see there's a freeway up there. I don't know if you can see any cars sort of getting along on the freeway, and a lot of people sort of park there to look, because there's a lookout there as well, so it's a big spectator area just there. Just up there on top of that rise there is a big spectator area, and this is actually a really awesome corner as well. Probably my favourite corner on the whole route. So yeah, just cruising up to the top of the hill. We will get our car unloaded, then we've got to go back down the bottom for the driver's briefing, and after that it'll be time to go. Well, look at that fog. It'll be all time to go. So yeah, probably the next video I'll take will actually be from in the car on the start line, ready to get amongst it. So probably leave it there and jump back in a couple of hours. So I thought we might just take a quick look at the course as well, and this is one of the things that I love about hill climbs, is just how completely old school they are. There's very little concessions given to safety or anything like that. It's pretty much just yourself and the public road. So just having a look at this one, it actually utilises the old Willunga Hill road. You can actually see there's a freeway there next to it, which is basically called by the locals as New Willunga Hill. Most people take the freeway. That carries the majority of the traffic, leaving the old road there for other purposes. It just does still get a little bit of traffic use, but it gets closed off also for a stage of the Tour Down Under. Cycle race runs up there. I believe a stage of the Classic Adelaide Rally runs up there still. I know it definitely used to. I'm not sure if it still does. And obviously for us here too, the Willunga Hillclimb. So just taking a look at the actual layout of it, you can see it there, and one thing that you'll notice immediately about it is there is absolutely no straights whatsoever.
there are a series of corners that you can sort of treat as straights a little bit, but there's really no room to rest or anything like that. And one of the things that the video doesn't really show so well is how heavily crowned the road is. So just about every time you cross over that centre line, you're crossing over the crown of the road. It's really unsettling the car at the same time. So yeah, definitely another little factor to contend with there, as well as quite often you go under trees and so on, and the road might be a little bit slicker under there where the trees might be dropping something, or there might be a bit of residual moisture or something like that. So that's what we're contending with today, and we'll just jump in the car and see how we get on. So we gave the car a quick check over when we got back to the service park, and found that it had blown a little bit of oil over the over some parts of the engine and also the firewall towards the back of the engine bay. Managed to trace that just to a poorly fitting oil cap, so we managed to rectify that just with a bit of handy tape, and it didn't bother us for the rest of the day. So first little hurdle cleared, and on with the rest of it. So as you can see, we lost 2 seconds on that run, and at the time wasn't really able to figure out why. I was sort of a bit surprised checking the times online that it was that much slower. So looking back at the video, you can probably see some of the lines were a bit ordinary, and some of the gear selection was pretty atrocious. So that's probably what the reason was for the missing 2 seconds, but definitely not something I wanted to repeat for the third and final run of the day.
Guys, so that's it. It's over. Yeah, absolutely knackered. Anytime you get a chance to drive a road like that, it doesn't matter what you're driving, you feel like Ari Vatanen. It's just a really awesome way to spend a day. This one's actually one of the really well-run events. Some of them aren't that good. This one is very good. So yeah, had a great time. I think everyone enjoyed themselves as well. So yeah, great day out. In terms of results, not exactly sure where I finished yet. I'll need to get home and check all the results online. Where I was parked up the top of the hill, where my class had to be parked, we didn't have access to a timing screen or anything like that. And the last update I was able to find on the internet, I was sitting around about 40th place out of 130 cars. So you know, it's sort of upper midfield, I suppose. And in terms of class results, I was pretty much sat right there in the middle as well. I think I was about 5th out of 10. So yeah, I mean, average, we're sort of where I expected to be. So by the time this video goes up, I'll actually have the results, and I'll be able to put in a section about that. Also, there'll be some, there was plenty of photographers there. So they're going to put some photos up. I will find their links and put them in the description of the video. And also, if anybody was there today and took some good photos, feel free to let me know, send them across. Yeah, it'd be good to see how it looked for anybody who managed to make the trip out. So yeah, until then, thanks very much. And I imagine there's going to be a little bit of a piece I'm going to tack on to the end of this video, but it's certainly all I'm going to do today. So yeah, thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.